Okay. Let's see here. What's up, guys? Oh, Kid Dragon. You guys aren't going to be hearing beats. I'm going to be actually taking apart a piece of my equipment, and then we're going to live stream that. It's going to be really boring. But yeah, I should probably actually start doing this right now because I have to. So I had the Universal Audio rack. It's a Firewire unit, and my old computer was Firewire. I got rid of my old computer. I made beats on it for the longest time, like 10 years. No, maybe not that. Maybe like 6 years or something like that. But it was a PC that I built that ran both Windows and Mac. It was basically like a Hackintosh. And I was using it for the longest time, and it actually served me really well. But then just to future-proof like my stuff, because it was kind of getting a little dated, especially with Firewire. I mean, it worked, but also it was kind of like the processing for like plugins, UA plugins, took forever, and it kind of sucked because I actually like using UA plugins. So I got this small little unit, which is the Apollo Twin X, and it's a Thunderbolt 3 one. So this one can go directly into my laptop, but it couldn't go into my desktop computer that I had at the time, which was, like just a couple weeks ago, because my desktop computer didn't have Thunderbolt. And I was really considering about just replacing the motherboard so it had like Thunderbolt 2 support. It was like an old chipset. It was an older like motherboard, but it still worked really fine. Like the processor was really good. But then I decided just to get rid of it, or give it to a friend or sell it to a friend. And then I actually got the Mac Mini M1. So it's right there. It's a small little thing, but what's cool about it, it has 2 Thunderbolt inputs, as well as, I've heard really good things about the M1 chip. And rendering like audio out, it takes about the same amount of time, roughly the same amount of time as my souped up computer. So that's kind of crazy. Like this little dinky computer took the same rendering time as like my souped up one. So that's what we're doing today. We're just putting a Thunderbolt card in the Universal Audio Apollo, the rack mount one. So I have to get the drill. I hate doing this shit, honestly, because there's just so many cables back there and all this. I hate just disconnecting stuff and like disconnecting things from the patch bay and then remembering where I need to put things. So, but it sucks, but it does need upgrading. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the Apollo rack. I'll play a beat first while I get everything ready. The reason why I haven't really been posting too much as of lately is, one, it's been incredibly hot. Even though we have AC in our place, it's just been incredibly hot. Like we've had this heat wave here in Southern California for like the past week. And 2, what was I going to say? I have a baby coming on the way, so me and my wife are kind of not scrambling, but like, we're getting pretty much everything ready for this last week. And the baby will be born on the 27th. So, I mean, her due date was in mid-July, and then we thought it would be kind of maybe early July, the doctor was kind of pointing at, and then now it's coming up on the 27th. So that's a Sunday. We're going to get everything ready, and then we're going to go. But yeah, let me go ahead and play this beat. I was working on a few beats, though, like this whole past week. Unfortunately, I can't share it with you guys because it's going to be maybe on some other projects for other people. So they wanted kind of exclusive stuff, so I can't really play it. But I had some other stuff that I was just kind of playing around with. I could just loop it. But let me get the drill and everything ready here. And if you guys have any questions or something like that, I can maybe answer it in the process of me doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera a little bit closer so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Was this on manual focus? Okay, so this is basically what I'm taking out right now. Let me just move all this other crap out of the way. All these plugs everywhere. This unit, and then I have the Thunderbolt card somewhere around here, so I will grab that as well. But let's go ahead and take this out, and I'll just have this loop while I'm doing this. When you use a drill for these rack units, make sure that the torque is set appropriately. You don't want to strip the nuts on there, or the bolts. And then I'm going to take a picture of these wires real quick, just so I have a reference. So when I put this stuff back, I know which colors go where here. And then you can just kind of group them together, like let them hang like that, I guess. I don't know if you can guys see that. But this was the Firewire unit here. And then we're going to open it up and put the Thunderbolt card in. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it basically goes in right here. Right there. And then the Firewire was already built into it, so we're just expanding it to Thunderbolt. All right. So there's a bunch of dust on the top here, so I'm just gonna take that off real quick. Maybe I shouldn't be using this, but whatever. Let me see if I can answer any questions. If you guys have any questions, let me know. It says, for one of your future, do you have in mind, let us see a walkthrough of your mixing process? Yeah, I know. There's a lot of stuff I gotta let you guys in on, but I don't want to go like willy-nilly on it, like unprepared. But here's the Fire or the Thunderbolt card. I bought it used off of Reverb. If you guys are unfamiliar with Reverb, it's basically like a kind of like an eBay of sorts for like music equipment or instruments, anything like music related, studio related, beat machines, whatever. Reverb is kind of like a store like that. Let me put this mic down real quick. Oh yeah. Yeah, Reverb. What's cool about Reverb is you can buy used equipment off Reverb, and it's usually from either studios or like just third-hand party like music stores or whatever it is, like even just independent sellers like eBay, And some of the listings, they'll have an offer option, so you can put in your best offer for something, and usually they're pretty good about like accepting offers. As far as like studio equipment stuff, and I got this one. I think it's shipped from a studio out in Florida, and they said that they upgraded their stuff to Thunderbolt 3, but this is a Thunderbolt 2 card. But I got it for a pretty decent price, so I'm going with Thunderbolt 2. I'm lucky that I have a few adapters, like Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapters, as well as Thunderbolt 2. I have a hub or a dock that still supports it. This thing looks a little dusty though. I don't have any compressed air, so it'll have to do. But I'm guessing it just slides in like so. Everything just kind of lines up here, hopefully. All right, it's in. Hooray. That was exciting. That was a little bit underwhelming, actually. But I'm going to go ahead and put the screws back on, only because I don't want to have to take the unit out again and have to put the screws back in. Usually I don't add the screws until I know everything works, but we're going to go ahead and just add the screws. Maybe I can just disconnect one of these things so we have a so we don't have to put it back in the rack right away. We can just connect it directly to the computer. I don't know if the power cable is going to connect all the way, but hold on. Let's play the beat again. Hold on, I have to disconnect some stuff right quick, so I'm not going to have any music, but it's okay. I just have to disconnect a hard drive. Do I have a cable for this, though? I might lose audio real quick. Sorry. Let's go back over here. I think I still have like the mic. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Let's zoom out here. All right, so we have the unit on the floor here. I have a Thunderbolt 2 cable right here, ready to go. I think I can cascade these two, though. The twin, Apollo twin, and then this Apollo duo. All right, it's connected. Let me turn it on. It's a little janky, but it's just to test it out. So it should come up on the Mac. I think I might have to change something. I'm not too sure. I might have to do this on my laptop. Oh, here. Firmware update. New firmware for your device. It's updating, guys. Maybe we don't have to connect anything. Once I get this all done, then we'll play more beats. I just wanted to make sure that it worked properly. Let me answer some questions, though. What do you typically keep directly on your tracks, and what do you always send through buses? I'm not entirely sure on that question. I mean, I'm guessing maybe you're referring to like plugins or like effects. Usually it just depends on the instrument or the drums or something like that. But usually I'll have like reverb on individual tracks, only because I like to set different parameters for certain songs or something like that. Hold on. It says power off to complete. It looks like we're good, honestly. Yeah, so like reverb on tracks, EQs. I don't really put like a channel strip on like tracks. Usually I'll put a channel strip on like the main bus, the mix bus or whatever it is. And then for like the groups or like the buses, it's usually some sort of compression, some sort of like imaging, so it's like a wider spectrum for the sound, like a little bit of reverb just depending on the song, and then maybe of course like a limiter on like the main bus track, and I don't know, like maybe effects like RC20. I always kind of put that on like the ending result. And yeah, I don't know really. Yeah, it looks like it works. It looks like it's on there. Hopefully this thing makes it go faster. Having Thunderbolt to the computer makes it go a lot faster. Let me think really quick how I'm going to do this, because I need a cable to run down there and then run back up. I have a Apple Cinema display as well up here. Let me just kind of show you guys. Is that high enough? Yeah, so that secondary monitor is an Apple Cinema display, so it goes out to the Mac Mini, but it also has like an additional Thunderbolt 2 input, or connector. So I'm probably going to just run this the rack mount unit directly to the Apple Thunderbolt display, and then the Thunderbolt display goes directly into the computer, so it kind of just routes through that. And then this one, the Apollo twin, that is Thunderbolt 3 anyway, and that can go directly into the computer. But let me connect these two really quick and see if both units come up, and see if we can kind of, I guess, cascade the two, or, you know, like use them in unison, especially the plugins and stuff. Hold on. So this should come up on the hardware screen as well. Let me answer some questions here. Hello? Okay. Yeah, like my computer just completely rebooted there. That was not super scary, but that kind of sucked. Let's see here. Test. Testing. Test. Test. Okay, so that sucked right there. Sorry, guys, I lost audio. So basically what happened was I had the rack mount unit connected directly to the Mac Thunderbolt port, and then I had this. No, hold on. Yeah, I did. I had the Mac, or the rack mount unit connected directly to the Mac, and then I connected this unit, the Apollo Twin, directly to the Mac, and then it rebooted my computer. And then it did it a few times. Obviously, if you saw it, I lost audio. But the way I have to do this, I guess, is I have to chain the Apollo Twin to the rack unit, and then the rack unit go directly to the Mac. I can't have both connected to the Thunderbolt units, I guess. But both are coming up now. I don't understand why it does that. It also could be because it's like a newer computer. It's like a Mac Mini M1 computer. So, yeah, sorry, guys. I don't know. So, but I have been having issues with this Thunderbolt display. I have another Thunderbolt display, but it's in the corner. I have to, like, take it apart and put the mount on it and stuff like that. But, yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to kind of, like, chain these two together and then put it directly to the computer, which is fine. That way I can open up one of the Thunderbolt 3 connectors or ports, but I don't have another adapter, which kind of sucks. So I can't really, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't think I can connect it to the Thunderbolt display and then the Thunderbolt display to the Mac. I'm afraid it's going to restart again. But I just wanted to test it out and make sure everything kind of came up okay. It obviously did. I guess I can connect this hard drive back and we can listen to some tracks, I guess. Yeah, a little scary, but, you know, we got it through it. Let's connect that. Hopefully that comes up properly. Okay. So if you guys were thinking about upgrading your computer to the new M1, whether it's like a MacBook Pro or, like in my case, I got the Mac Mini, just do a little bit of research as far as like what's compatible with it, because I know there's a few things that I was having trouble with. Pretty much like a few of my plugins still aren't supported yet, but you know, like I looked on the manufacturer's websites, or you know, like the creators' websites, and they're saying they're working on it right now. You know, it's new chipset or whatever it is. The Nucleus actually wasn't working because the SSL Nucleus, it relies on these drivers called IP or MIDI over IP, basically IP MIDI, and SSL didn't have the new drivers yet for the new M1s. But if by chance you do have a Nucleus, maybe this applies to the Nucleus too. You can actually go to the IP MIDI website and download a trial for the new M1 Max, and it works fine. You just have to make sure that your Nucleus is set up already. You know, like it's already kind of pre-programmed via like how you used to do it. If you do need to make any changes to the Nucleus itself, like you know how it acts, like if it needs Mackie controller, you know, whatever, or even if you're buying like a used one online, just the SSL Nucleus program, the control program doesn't work with the M1 Max yet. So, but SSL said they're working on it, so hopefully we'll get like a fix soon. But IP MIDI for the M1 Max works as long as you download the update directly from their website. Let's try to listen to another beat here. What do I have here? There's a bunch of throwaway shite here. 29. I have to look at these a little better, or rename these a little bit better here. Let's answer some more questions. Where am I? I kind of lost the page. It says, now your baby is coming. Is there something you can't wait to do musically speaking, like sampling your baby's voice, make a beat with it? Well, I think like I can't wait for our kid to be like a little bit older, like a year old, where they kind of like already kind of have like a personality and stuff. Because I feel like the first few months, you're just taking care of like, you're taking care of an infant, like a newborn. So once he starts developing, like a little bit more, I think it'll be a lot more fun. Let's see what this beat is. But I've seen like people, they make beats from like the ultrasound, like heartbeat and stuff like that. And I was thinking about doing that, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll just, since it's been so like played, maybe I won't do it. This beat's alright. There's a lot of these beats that are just kind of like, I work on something up to this point, and then I'm just like, alright, I'm over this. This is too typical of me. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when I'm working on beats, I want to still be able to surprise myself, and then like this beat in particular, I feel is just like it's just like no surprise. Like it's stereotypically me, and I don't like that. I don't like being me. I want to be somebody else. All right. Is there any other questions here? Okay. Somebody asked, where do I find my snares? Is it the processing? Yeah, like sometimes I take somewhat overused snares and I basically just kind of tune them. I think that's the simplest thing you can do to make something sound brand new. And then you can just EQ stuff. It's not like rocket science. You can take like an overused Dilla snare and tune it and then EQ it and then add a little reverb, and it's a slight variation of something that's overused. I think I tend to like to tune down things, so like a few semitones, snares, and then I'll EQ it. Like I'll just take out the bottom end pretty much for the most part, and then I'll just kind of mess with the mids and highs. And then you can just stack stuff. I stack stuff a lot. Stack a snare with a clap or a snap or something like that. See, this is like another one of those beats where I'm like, damn, did I make this in like 2002? So I just like leave it. It's too, like I'm listening to it right now. And it's too kitschy. Like it's too happy for me. I want to be in a dark place. All right, let's just go through these, because these are all beats that I've worked on in the past like couple weeks. See, this one sounds okay, but I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, sometimes I'll be on some sort of like weird old soul kind of kick, like a weird 70s love song kind of kick. And that's one of those. You know, sometimes it's just me messing around with sample packs and see what I can come up with, but it's not like, definitely not intricate. Obviously, these are like kind of like not throwaway stuff. I kind of like this one, but I don't know what to do with the drums on this. I think the drums kind of work, but they also, I'm not entirely happy with them. They're just kind of whatevs to me. That one's okay. That one definitely has like legs. I'm still kind of messing around with that one though. Let's see what else we have. One more and then we'll call it quits here. Oh, hold on. Here's the dog. The dog's getting hungry. You hungry? It's her dinner time. So she's bugging. What number was that? 25, 24. Oh, going back to somebody asked about the user submission or the listener submission beats. I'm giving everybody until Sunday, right? Sunday to like turn it in. I'll cut it off on Sunday night. I'll see if I can shoot a video as soon as I can for that one. Only because since our baby is coming on the 27th, it's gonna be hard for me to like post stuff, honestly. So I'll give everybody to the night of June 20th, which is Sunday, to submit this stuff. You can check out a previous video. If you haven't submitted stuff, you can check out a previous video. I have the link for it. This is volume 2 that you're submitting for. And then, I'll just pick like a handful of them and we can kind of discuss them as well. I thought the first one was pretty dope, you know, like I like hearing what you guys kind of produce. But yeah, the 20th, and then I'll pick a handful and then whatnot. Let's see what this one is. Yeah. That one was okay. These are okay. Let's see what else I have here. I think I posted this one already. Yeah. I made a little video for that one as well. There was one that I actually thought was decent. Maybe it's this one. Let me listen to this real quick. That one was all right. I mean, like stuff like that, I feel like I can kind of like map out um, for a singer or something like that. Maybe I'll just send all of those to like singers. But yeah. Are there any other questions? I don't know. Somebody asked, "Do you take SoundCloud posted submissions?" I like honestly, I would rather not. I would rather you guys like submit an MP3. That way, all the tracks that are submitted are in one folder, and I can quickly go through everything. If like I can't just constantly like click on links, um, because what I do is it all goes to like a Google Drive, and then I download them all, and I listen to each one. It just makes my life a little bit easier. Uh, it says, "How can fans support you as an artist? I think the trap scene gets way too much attention while real music goes down in the sour world." There's good stuff, and like it's the landscape as far as artists go hasn't really changed too much. Like we still have really popular artists, and then we have like kind of like a little bit more underground people or just independent people, and it's not too, like I make a decent living. The way you can support me is just tuning into these things. I mean, I don't really do it for like views or anything, or like monetization. I make very little money from YouTube. So it's more about just being able to connect with you guys, especially these live streams, because I can't really do that when I just post like beat videos, because I don't read the comments, honestly. It's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't really have time to. My time is pretty limited, so I can't scour through all the comments. But yeah, you could just support me by just like listening to my music through Spotify or iTunes or music or whatever it is. If you purchase albums from Bandcamp, that like it goes directly to me. I mean, I think Bandcamp takes like a small percentage of it, but most of the sales from that go directly to me. And like I'm not. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand how it was to be like a young music listener. Growing up in the first steps of the digital age of music. Like I had to go on like Napster and like rip music, or like just rip music from online. It somehow. I didn't have any money to do any of this stuff when I was like in my early or late teens to like early 20s. Like, I was a broke college kid. I didn't have any of that. So, even just going to see some of my favorite artists perform, like under 21, like I couldn't go into clubs when I was like 21, of course, but like, being like 16 through like 20, and being able to see my artists perform, or even like seeing like behind the scenes videos and stuff like that, that was just always a trip to me, because you got to kind of see what these dudes did, like behind the scenes or in the studio. And that's kind of like what I do with YouTube. Like I know like people don't really get a glimpse of some of their favorite artists in the studio, or even communicating with their listener base and stuff like that. So that's kind of like how I use YouTube, I guess. Do you add any effects on top of your bass, or you just use the settings off the plugin? It depends. Sometimes I'll add like a little reverb onto the bass, just like a very small amount, and a small amount of compression too. Nothing too crazy, only because when you're mixing drums and bass together, you don't want it to be too muddy, if that makes any sense. So you kind of have to use your ears pretty wisely as far as like adding effects or plugins onto like the low ends of stuff. Any upcoming events in LA you'd be performing at? I mean, once the whole pandemic thing opens up a little bit more, and it's a little bit more safe to go outside, Um, and once like events start popping up more, then I'll more than likely do a couple shows or something like that. It's nothing too crazy. I do like performing a little bit. I like DJing the most because I can just spin whatever I want, but I know most people they want to see beat sets, so hopefully I'll be able to do a couple in LA. Yeah, it's like the very start of reopening the state here in California. And, like I see people just like not wearing masks at all, like they don't give a shit. And I have to be pretty mindful about that. Like I don't want to like go out there and be careless like right away. I think people are just like, I don't know. Like I feel like some people are just like a little careless when it comes to that stuff, or you just have to be mindful of other people as well as yourself. And plus, my wife's pregnant, so like I'm not even trying to catch COVID, even though I'm vaccinated and my wife's vaccinated. Like I'm not even trying to like get up all up in that. Like people, like I hear people like talk like, especially like people from like Texas. They're like, oh yeah, like our whole family caught COVID and yeah, we got over it fine. And it's like, but you have to understand, yeah, you understand that, but you have to also understand that like 600,000 people in the U.S. died from it. So you have to be a little bit respectful of that. You know what I'm saying? I had friends who lost relatives and really close family members to COVID. So it is pretty sad. So like you have to be a little bit mindful about that. Is it possible to make a living from music if you're not in the mainstream? Of course, man. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like putting out albums. I think a lot of producers they really overlook just kind of like licensing and like just being a working producer. Of course, you work with art. I work with a few artists, not too many, but I work with a handful of artists that like help me out, I guess. And I license a lot of music, not just to companies, but, to apps and like commercial use and, whatever they want to use it for, and make sure you got all your publishing stuff straight. And, like there's a bunch of different avenues you can go down. You can go like, you can make sounds for like, you can do sound design, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. So if you just love being in the studio like I do, there's a bunch of different things you can do. You don't even necessarily have to be a music creator. You can do like just studio work, like meaning like like I live pretty close to Studio City, and there are a handful of like places where people need to do like audio recordings and stuff, like voice acting and all this other stuff, or they need to go in and read and record stuff. So if you just like working with audio, like don't be scared to like go down other avenues. I mean, you can always be a creative person regardless of what your job is. I have a bunch of friends who like they love making music and they're DJs and they love producing beats and stuff, but they have just regular jobs too, like they're like UPS drivers, or they work in an office all day, but then they come home and that's kind of like their outlet, just making music and stuff. All right, I am gonna cut the thing here. Answer one more question, I guess. What's your favorite song you made with Joey Badass, and are you featured on his upcoming album? Me and Joey are still cool, but I haven't produced for him in a while. I still do stuff with a few of the other Pro Era guys, but it's just whenever their management hits me up. My favorite track from Joey is probably Waves, only because that's kind of like the start of his career, as well as me kind of breaking more into the mainstream music and stuff like that, or just being a little bit more, I guess, noticed. But yeah, that's kind of like my favorite track of me and Joey's. It's not my favorite beat of mine per se, but like mine and Joey's together. I also like what's that one track? I have the tune in my head, but I forgot the name of the track. But it was off his second album. But anyway, guys, I'm going to cut the stream. It's almost been an hour. I just kind of wanted to show you guys me trying to put this together, as well as just play a few beats that I was just working on for like the past couple weeks or so. But then, yeah, I'll come back. Like I said, the June 20th, that's the last day to submit beats. I'll go over everyone's beat. I seriously sit down and I give everybody a listen, and we'll talk about it hopefully that week, because after that, the baby's born, and I don't know how much time I'm really going to have to really post too many videos. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for myself, as well as my wife and everybody. I don't think we have to do too much adjusting as far as sleep schedule stuff, because we get up pretty early and stuff like that, and we're pretty good at sleeping. We did get a puppy during the pandemic, and that kind of opened our eyes for, like we kind of had to co-sleep with her, and wake up at like weird hours, like 2 or 3 in the morning, because we had a crying puppy and stuff like that. But I understand, like, taking care of a human is a lot different. But yeah, all right, guys, peace. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more time next week to shoot that video. We can go over those beats. But check a few previous videos to the link, so if you haven't submitted your music already. All right, guys, peace.